Hello, happy Friday. This is Kenny Conley. I'm the next generation pastor at the Ridge Community Church in Blue Ridge, Georgia. And I am in the middle of my 90-day volunteer recruiting challenge where I'm attempting to recruit 50 volunteers over the course of the next 90 days. And I want to talk one more time about teenagers before I move on to other things. And the conversation that I'd like to have is how to use teenagers as volunteers in your ministry. And I have kind of a philosophy around teenagers and serving. Now, I serve in a role of a next gen ministry role where I oversee everything cradle to college. So I care very much about teenagers. Here's one of the things that I would say right off the bat is teenagers are critical to your mission. I don't believe that teenagers just help fill slots and fill spaces where you need volunteers. I actually think that teenagers can do significant things. I also believe that the opportunity of empowering teenagers to volunteer is a part of their discipleship process. It's a part of how they grow as a believer. And so teenagers need to be in a small group community where they are being asked the hard questions and they're experiencing community and growth that way. But they also need to be given opportunities to do something, to serve, to use the gifts that God's given them. And I think those two things together are super important. So it's not like I think the children's ministry needs to work in tandem with your student ministry, where the children's ministry is a place where some of your teenagers are going to develop and mature. So here's a philosophy that I have. Like, as you recruit adults, young adults, older adults to serve in your kids' ministry, don't just give them the task to invest in kids and to pour into preschoolers and elementary age kids, but also invite them into the opportunity to mentor some of your teenage volunteers. Over the course of months and years, these adult volunteers have an opportunity to really get to know these teenagers as they serve in vulnerable ways, sharing parts of their story, sharing parts of their life, and the impact that a older adult serving alongside a teenager can be significant. The progress that they make in their spiritual journey could be significant. So don't minimize that. I remember, I'll end this with a story. When I was in Arizona, I had so many middle schoolers who wanted to serve on our ministry that our preschool adult volunteers were getting frustrated. And several made, comments of like, please don't give us any more middle schoolers. And I get it, because middle schoolers are a little crazy. They're wild. They've got so much energy, and they can cause problems. And I didn't see it that way. I saw the opportunity that we had. So what we did was we ended up having lots of meetings with these middle school volunteers and their parents, and we raised the expectations. We asked them that they had to communicate. So if they weren't going to be there, we had to know. They had to let us know. They had to come prepared. They had to come focused. They had to behave. We had a snack room, a volunteer room. They couldn't leave in the middle of the service to go get snacks. They had to be responsible. But we asked them if they would do these things. They'd show up consistently. They would communicate. They'd come prepared. Then they could be great volunteers. And I had this idea, and I shared this with my adult leaders. It's like, what if you had one middle schooler for every preschooler? Like, what if every preschooler had a buddy? And your role as an adult volunteer at a preschool classroom wasn't to teach the preschoolers, but to actually empower these middle schoolers to lead the lesson, to teach, to connect, and to make the service happen. Wouldn't that be better? Like, wouldn't that be amazing to where you've empowered these teenagers to actually make an impact, to lead and to share and invest in these kids? So my philosophy is raise your expectations, but don't hold teenagers back. Give them the opportunity to do great things and let them go and see what God might do through them. So what's some of the more significant things that your teenagers have done as they've served in your ministry?